So Linux permissions. So I'll cover it in two categories: permission for files and for directories. Okay. So let's take directory first. Let's take directory as a room. Okay. So read permission lets you see the object inside the room, and obviously it's read. And write permission lets you change the objects of the room, like add, remove objects, or add a new furniture, rearrange the furniture. And execute bit lets you enter the room. Okay. Now let's say if you had only read permission, it's like you are locked out of the room and there's a list hanging at the front door with names of the items, furniture which are inside the room. So let's say if we have a room. Okay, yes, we do have a room. Let's check its permission. Wait, let's make the permission read only. Okay, look. Now I'm locked out of the room. I can see what's inside the room. See, I can see chair table. I can see what's inside the room, but I cannot enter it. I'm locked out of the room. Now let's say if you had only write permission for it. It's like having the permission to change something inside a room, but it's pretty useless since you can't even see what's inside the room. And unless you exactly knew where furnitures are, like even after knowing where the furnitures are, to change them you have to be able to enter the room. So without X bit it's pretty useless. Okay. Let's make it now write permission only. Well, look, it's pretty useless. See, I can't even see what's inside the room. Not gonna enter it, so it's pretty useless. The write permission without execute bit. And if I had for last part, if I had for X permission execute bit, then it's not exactly useless, but you are effectively blind because you can't see what's inside the room. And even if you somehow knew where the furnitures are, like what's inside the room, you wouldn't be able to change them in because you do not have the right permission for it. Now, let's check the permission execute case. So let's in this directory. Right now I have all permissions, like you can see. See, let's check the only execute permission one. So let's make my permission execute only. Oh wait, before that, let's see if there's something. Okay, there is. Or do they have something or not? Wait, let's check the files. Okay, they're empty. Okay, so let's write something there. Let's write in file 1. Hello, even though you had only execute permission, you still were able to read this file. Bruh, what the file? Okay. Alright. Then let's check what's inside the room. Okay, there's file 1 and file 2, right? So remember my point, if you had only execute permission, then it's pretty useless since you were effectively blind, and you can't see what's inside the room. And even if someone knew where the furnitures are, in our example, it's the room, right? So you could touch them, but you still wouldn't be able to do anything like add, remove, modify the furniture since you don't have the right permissions. Now, Here's the thing. If you had only execute permission for the directory, but you didn't have any other permissions, but if you had read permissions or other permissions for that specific file that you know, like in this case, I know that file 1 exists, right? First, let's make the directory only execute bit. Okay, there it is. Now look, I can't read it because I'm locked out of the room. Sorry, no, I'm effectively blind. I'm not locked out of the room, I'm blind and I can't modify anything. I only have the execute permission. But since I knew there is a file named file1 and I have read permission on that file, now even though I do not have read permission on the directory, I can read that file. So if I do cat room file1, see, hello, even though you had only execute permission, you still were able to read this file. So yeah, that's the execute bit. Okay, so now let's look at the technical reality. A directory is a special file that contains names spread with inode numbers. Now, what is an inode? I'll cover it in a separate video. For now, just know that inode is a structure that contains the file's information, permission rules, timestamps, size, and the address where the actual contents are stored. Now, with only read permission, you will read the directory and see the names, but to look up the information inside the inode, you need execute bit. Now look, watch this example. See those question marks? Those represent the file information that lives in the inode structure. The system can see the names on the right, file 1 and file 2, but without the execute permission, it can't follow the inode numbers to look up the actual file details. Now watch when now if I add the execute bit, see, now system can traverse to the inodes and retrieve all the file permission, timestamp, who owns it. Okay, so refer back to my room analogy. To know about the items inside the room, you need to be able to walk in there, and the execute bit allows you that. Without the execute bit, you can only see the names written at the front door. You don't know what the item is and who owns it or anything else about it. Oh, and one more thing. To delete a file, you need to write permission on the directory and not on the file, since removing a file is changes the directory. It's like you were removing a furniture from the room. You need to share permission for that room and not that furniture. To change or delete something in the directory, you need both write permission and execute permission. Because it's like when you want to change something inside the room, change the furniture or remove the furniture, add new furniture, you need first write permission for that room. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to change something. Second, you need the X permission for that room. Since you have to enter the room first to change something inside it, right? So you need both of those permissions to change a directory. Alright, now look at this example. I already have a file 1 in my directory. Let's see if we do. Okay, we do a file 1. Now let's make the permission write only. Wait, first say, is it empty? Okay, it is empty. Now let's make the permission right only. Okay, now look, even though I have write permission on the directory, I still wouldn't be able to delete this file because I am not able to enter it. See, I can't even enter the room. And to change something inside the room, I have to enter it first. Now look, when I add the execute bit, see, now it succeeded. Now I have the execute bit that allows me to enter the room. So yeah, that's directory permissions.